eternally, far above all I could ask or think. Believe, yes, I believe. You say, I believe that you are able to do exceedingly abundantly, far above all I could ask or think.
I am so excited because the Step Out TV shows are back live on T2I TV. And for those who don't know, Step Out is a series of interviews and motivational segments designed to bring the best out of you and your business. Therefore, we have the following TV programs. Our first TV program, which is our flagship program, dubbed Step Out with Oscar Bimpong, is designed to interview consultants, experts, talented people, and those doing exceptionally well in their communities. The second one is Step Out SME Focus. This is where we interview business owners and showcase their products and services. The third one is Step Out Youth Impact Zone. This is where we interview young people succeeding against all odds to serve as an inspiration to other young people. And the last one is Step Out Authors Corner. And this is where we interview authors to share what their book is about to the world. Join us every week at 7 p.m. GMT. Like T2I TV on Facebook and subscribe to the YouTube channel. To advertise or for further information, do WhatsApp +44 759 1152 983 or +233 55 580 3924 or email info@traintoinspire.com. T2I TV. We engage, educate, enlighten, and empower.
Welcome to another exciting edition of the Step Out with Oscar Bimpo. And tonight is another powerful discussion where we bring you young people across the continent of Africa and in diaspora to come and discuss topics or share their stories that can help people in the young people on the continent. And we believe that the young people have been neglected for far too long. They have been sidelined. They are the most populated and the youngest across all the continent, but nobody is giving them the voice. That is why T2I TV UK has been brought to really support, give them the opportunity for them to discuss issues and also find solutions and also create the platform for them to thrive. And tonight is no exception. I've got a powerful lady who's already seated, ready to come on the show to really inspire you. Now, before I go, I want to do some few mentions of our sponsors. This program is sponsored by Train to Inspire Consultancy. That is your business training and consulting firm. That is for all your business training, contact T2I TV UK. We also work with colleges and universities. We have got a design program that helps in the personal development of students and also especially final year students, where we really bridge the gap between academia and the world and also help them to really have the right mindset while they're about to transition into the world. It's a very powerful program. Then also ALS Global Shipping and Logistics, your trusted import and export company based in Accra. ALS says if you are stranded at the port, call them and they will sort you out. Also, ZPay Ghana Limited, your remittance and mobile money company based in Accra. They just launched ZPay mobile money USSD code, and that is star 270 hash. Just dial on your phone to register for ZPay mobile money. Then also Wheels for Sure, your car leasing for every credit. Wheels for Sure says it doesn't matter your credit, you can drive out of the garage with a car of your choice. Please quote T2I 2020 when you call Wheels for Sure. Now, if you want to contact any of our sponsors, the numbers are scrolling on the screen. Take the numbers and contact them. When you call them, just mention that you got the number from T2I TV UK and you are more likely to have a very good deal. Now, who do I have on the hot seat? I have known this lady, a very hard-working lady, making a difference, making a difference on the continent, and she is a worshiper. She is also a revivalist. She's a counselor, a TV and radio talk show host, and she is the founder of I Stand with Women. Who is this person I'm talking about? She is the person of Abba fame. Please welcome to Step Out Youth Impact Zone, and you are live on T2I TV UK.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the honor to be part of this great show. I'm very honored to be here, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you very much, sir.
Wow. Wow. Thank you also for honoring our invitation. We are also very glad to have you here. And I've been really been following you for
Yeah.
the past like 3 to 5 years now. And I've seen the work that you have done. And that is the reason why you are on this show. Because this show, we always try to bring in the best. And I believe that what you are doing, you always can count yourself among the best. Now let's go straight to business. Our topic
Yeah.
for discussion is overcoming fear in
Yeah.
this era, especially as a woman. But before I go on our topic,
As a woman.
why
Yeah.
is fame added to your name? Abba fame. What is the connection with fame?
Oh, okay. Well, many people feel that or think it's the word fame itself added to my name, but that's not exactly so. Coincidentally, what made me get that name formed the word fame. I remember one morning I was done with my morning devotion, and then the Spirit of God told me from this day onwards, yeah, fully elevated, anointed to emancipate, mounted above all powers to rule with Jesus. And then you've got an excellent spirit to rule. So make sure you step out there and fulfill your purpose. So I jotted it down, and then I was just wondering over it and asking myself, how does this become my name? Then I got the inspiration to take the first letters of every sentence.
Mm,
Fully elevated is the F, anointed to emancipate is the A, M is the mounted above all powers to rule with Jesus is the M, and then the E is excellent spirit to rule. So fortunately or coincidentally, it formed the word fame. And
wow.
then Thursday is given to um, a fancy girl born on Thursday. Abba is given to a fancy girl born on Thursday. So Abba is my real name. I was born on Thursday. And then the fame is an acronym of what I just explained. So that's how come the fame is attached to my name.
It is quite interesting, trust me. I never knew
Very,
that.
very
And
interesting.
yes, when I was
Yeah,
coming up, like I'm going to ask her about why she added fame to her name. And this is quite interesting. Trust me, I really
yeah,
love it. It has got a very divine purpose. Yes,
yeah,
and I think you are on the right
yeah,
path anyway. I think people would think probably you are seeking for
yeah,
fame, but they don't really know the story behind it. And that is a very great
yeah,
story.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Now
yeah,
let's go straight to business. We are talking about
yeah,
overcoming fear in this era, especially as a woman. Now, what is fear?
yeah. Okay. First of all, before I go into the dictionary, I'm sure by now we've all heard the saying, which is anonymously said, that fear is false evidence appearing to be real,
Mhm.
or fear false evidence appearing real. But when you go into the dictionary, it says that an unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger,
Mm,
real or imagined.
mm,
It's just an unpleasant feeling that you feel that causes you to imagine danger at all costs. And then it
mm,
puts you into a state where you can't really think straight. And then you begin to act abnormally sometimes, or you it causes you to coerce the situations and then it overcomes you.
mm,
But as I said earlier, fear is false evidence appearing to be real.
mm,
So when you allow it to overcome you, I mean, that's when I know that, or I can conclude that it is fear. I
mm,
have taken it that if you allow it to overcome you, then it's fear. But if you don't allow it to overcome you, then it means that it's a false evidence appearing to be real and you've defeated it. So for me, that's what fear means to me. Aside the explanation from dictionary, yeah,
yeah, but you made mention of being real and also
yeah,
being imaginary, right? Now, being real, I think
yeah.
that one is understandable because if, like, somebody is trying to throw an object at you, you are going to have that fear to really find a way
Mm-hmm,
around it. But imaginary, thinking about something that has
yeah.
not, that doesn't exist, isn't it weird for people
Mm-hmm.
to be always live in fear just because of the things they think about?
No, 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 no. I don't think I don't think it's so. And mostly it would depend on the situation you find yourself in. If I can go directly to the topic we are talking about, overcoming fear in this area, especially as a woman, there are a lot of fear, or a lot of women harboring fear, which is causing them not to flow as they should.
Mm,
I mean, there are lots of myths concerning, let's take for instance, independent woman in Africa or in Ghana. There are lots of myths concerning an independent woman in Ghana that has caused a lot of women to bow their head instead of lifting it up.
mm,
Yeah.
wow. Why did you choose to discuss women in fear, but when fear is for both men and women and anybody at all? Why did you choose just fear
Okay.
for women?
I chose to talk about that because I deal with a lot of women, especially the majority are young women who are now trying to build their life from second cycle institution to tertiary, and some already in marriage. I mean, the ministry I have deals with young women from 14 years to 45. Some are even above 45, but they are still part of us. And I realized that fear has become one thing that has caused a lot of us not to be able to explore other fields and be ourselves. And we always have to go by what the society is giving us or telling us to do. So I chose to discuss that to let a young woman out there to know that this is how it's supposed to be. And so I need to set up, no matter how intimidated I feel, but no matter how intimidated I feel, I need to sit up and go for gold. Make sure that I fulfill purpose because fear is only something I accept to be real. But if I don't, I will be able to explore and get there. So that's how come I chose to discuss it, because young women are very dear to my heart. I want to see every young woman achieving purpose in life. And if I'm permitted to say this, there are a lot of women empowerment group around, and then feminism has also created an idea that whenever you are grooming or you said you are into women empowerment, you are teaching women to, I mean, compete with men over their right and all that. But it's absolutely not so. And even that alone has put a lot of fear in women to even stand with men when it comes to certain positions and a whole lot of. So I chose to talk about this to let the young women out there know that fear cannot stop them and it mustn't stop them. Yes, that's how come I chose to talk about this topic.
So, do you think feminism, for example, is helping women to come out of
Mhm.
fear?
It's actually part of it. Feminism is broad. I don't believe that feminism is about women competing with men. No, I don't believe women empowerment is about teaching women to disrespect or dishonor men. No, I believe women empowerment or feminism is about helping women. God has already endowed all of us with a lot of abilities and capabilities. So, women empowerment or feminism to me is about helping women to realize their potentials and helping them also to maximize them. God has already endowed all of us with our uniqueness and giftings and talents. So feminism is all about, and mostly in our part of the world, Africa, there used to be a time that some of us we grew up hearing it, and even there are some villages men shouldn't go that far when it comes to certain things in life. There are certain job positions that are only for men and all these things. So I believe women empowerment is to teach or help the women maximize what they have and encourage them to stand for purpose. That's all.
And
That's
do you
what
think that
I
is
believe
really
feminism
making
is
an
all, and women
impact?
empowerment.
But do you
Come
think
again?
that is really making an do you think that is really making an impact, driving women out of fear, especially with the empowerment that you are talking about?
Yes, it's really making an impact because with the group I have, we have counseling session, we have activities that we take the young women through. We assign counselors to them, which I am also one of them. And most of them are capable, but just living in fear.
Mm.
And from my side, it's been very impactful. It's been very, very, very impactful. Some of them don't even have anyone or any family member or anybody to look up to. And that alone scares them to even want to take a step. But when they join us, whatever we take them through equips them to overcome this fear. Because everybody is capable, anybody can achieve anything. The moment you set your mind to it and you put away fear and what ifs, so it's been very impactful with my side so far with everything that I've done. And I believe that as time goes on, those that have been under me and under this ministry and are being imparted would also go out there and they will keep imparting, and a time will come, majority will be imparted, and the impact will really be felt. That's what I believe.
Do you think men has really played a role in really creating fear in women?
Yes, yes, they have. They have.
And how? How have they done that?
They have. Let me tell you, for instance, I would give a personal example before I'll go into a broad one. I remember there was a gentleman that I know in church, and per what I do in church and out of the church, one day he was like, he's afraid of me. And I said, why does he say that? And then he said, women like you can't deceive them. And I'm like, but what would you have it in mind to deceive a woman? And I said, no, women like you know too much. You know what you're about. So nobody can joke around with you. So it made me realize that some men are really aware of what they do. And then so from there, I intentionally didn't tell him, but I kept interrogating him, if I can put it this way, to get his mindset. Then I realized that he's afraid of me because of what I can become or what I've become as a woman, and he can't stand it. So there are times that when I speak with him, he'll just make a comment like, "So you don't have to go too far, or if you go too far with this thing you're doing, every man gets to know that you are this learned, you won't get a man to marry." So when he mentioned, he said that I was in school. So per my research, I intentionally did a research on that in my church and outside. And Mr. Oscar, it will amaze you the kind of mindset learned men have concerning women,
Mm, mm,
especially when it comes to independent women. So people around them, when they get to know that this is the mindset of the men around me, they tend not to go any further. They create a boundary and be always remain behind the boundary because they know when they get to explore and they go further than a man around them, it will become a challenge. They won't get somebody to marry. We are in the 21st century. In this era, things are happening. Everybody thinks that there's so many women empowerment going on, so everybody is learned, every woman is equipped. No, the men who were I'm trying to get a better word to use. The men who were sitting on women, if I can put it this way, the men who were demeaning women so many years ago have polished it up, and they are still doing that in a very polished manner. That if you would think that now men can accept, blah blah. Of course, some men are doing so well. They want to see their women getting there, but majority still have this mindset. African men have this mindset, this mentality that a woman shouldn't go this far. It will amaze you how a woman will be challenged as a director of the office by some men simply because she's a woman and she's their boss, and they have to do everything to bring that woman down, or they just can't listen or take instruction from women. So men have been a very, very great instrumental in this attitude of women being afraid to take a step in this era we live in.
Because I'm trying to really get my head
Mhm.
around in terms of when you made a statement of women who are knowledgeable and they know what they are doing, they seem like a threat to men.
Yeah.
Why should it be so? Because I think that if you have got a woman that is very knowledgeable, for example, if she's a wife,
Hmm.
because if you want to go into marriage,
Hmm.
I guess some men also feel it as a threat when they see that their women are even earning more than them, or the women are in higher
Yeah.
positions more than them. And why
Yeah.
should this be the
Yeah.
case? It means that women can also put fear into men, right?
Yes, with that it's there. We have women who can put fear into men. But generally, you know, I think the migration hasn't really settled well. That is why a lot
Mm,
of men still see women as a threat. In our era, most men or some have realized that I need to even have a capable woman at home. So I need to get a learned woman who knows her rights and knows what she stands for as a woman. There are men who also would wish even for such women, but would wish that they limit themselves in life, even though they know the woman is capable, or whatever woman they have is capable, but they would wish that women should limit themselves. You know, myth has also contributed to this fear of men about women, independent women, or men thinking that a woman of a good caliber is a threat to them. I mean, there are people that you can, when you get close to, I've always, I've had numerous compliments about people getting to know me personally, and they will go like, "Oh, I thought you were like this," not knowing you are like that.
mm.
And so Met has also created a huge vacuum for that thread thing to work, that thread philosophy of women being independent women being threat to men, or learned women being threat to men. It has also created a big vacuum to it. So to me, women and men being afraid of women is mostly created by men. That doesn't dispute the fact that there are women who are some way to an extreme that put fear in men, because I know there are women who abuse their spouse, there are women who abuse their siblings and even parents. These things are there, but generally myth has put a lot of fear in men and has caused majority of men to see women of this era as a threat.
I have got a
Yeah.
comment here from Dinah Powell, and she says we need to
Okay.
move away from the Europeanized concept of women empowerment, that is into bracket
Yeah.
feminism. Our culture was
Yeah.
built upon an African matriarchal society. European
Exactly.
ideas from a patriarchal perspective has
Hmm.
dominant our way of life, values,
Hmm.
and moral conduct. We need to educate both our men and women back to our original way of life. What is your take on that?
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. And I agree with her. When I started talking, you remember I mentioned that feminism, I don't believe is about women competing with men. Women empowerment generally is about grooming women to stand in purpose. Because Mr. Oscar, with what you do, excuse me to say, if you marry a woman who doesn't know anything about life or who doesn't know what she stands for, she can't even help you with what you're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely you need somebody who knows what she stands for. Then she'll be able to help you to
Mm.
deal with what you also stand for. So women empowerment, as she said, in Africa is it's not about women competing with men, but when it's about teaching women to live in purpose, it's about grooming the women to complement our men well. Because most people, even in this, is still some of the young people only think about wedding. They don't even think about marriage. What how the marriage is going to work after the wedding. All they know about is planning the wedding, and there's a life long after them after the wedding. All these things are taught at women empowerment. And trust me, when a woman is on point, she's able to drive the man to a good destination. That's why there is this saying, and I believe in it so much, that behind every successful man, there is a woman. The same way I also usually say this, that behind every failed man, failed working man, there is a woman, a failed or a woman, a lazy woman who didn't know what she was about, except a man who is not willing to be helped. So I agree with what she's saying perfectly, and that is all that I'm trying to say. It is just the truth. In our era, it's not about, I don't believe that women empowerment is about women teaching women to disrespect men. No, because with women empowerment, you groom women. And one thing we even teach in our ministry is about temperament. Some young women don't even know the temperament of their spouse. For instance, if you marry a man who is a flag, everybody knows one of the weakness of a flag man is someone who doesn't really care about petty or certain things. So if you're living with a flag man in a house and the bulb is burned and he doesn't care, if you don't know he's a flag person, it will be a big issue to fight over. But if you know the temperament of your man and you know that flag flag people with the trait of flag are this way and that way, so you would know how to support them in with their weakness and also encourage their positive aspects. So all these things comes under women empowerment. There was a time there was a trending issue in Ghana about cooking being slavery. I don't think cooking is slavery. Cooking is not slavery, and cooking is not so limited to a woman. I mean, every one of the spouse can fix this, but God has given women the knowledge and the skill to be able to multi-skill.
Mm.
That's why some of these chores are with women. And in the olden age, women are home taking care of the house. So cooking and house chores became part of women's responsibility. But now we all go to work, we all leave at dawn, we come home in the evening. So sharing house chores is not a big deal. It's understanding between the partners to know what to do. So what my sister is saying is so on point. That is one of the reasons why I started this women empowerment thing that I'm into. I realized that we are groomed in the wrong dimension, and we are being taught that you need to stand up against the man. Women empowerment is not like that. You need to stand for yourself, know what you're about, so you can complement whoever you be attached well. You'll be able to complement your dad well, your siblings well, and when you give birth, you'll be able to train even your children well for the future.
Mm.
If you're a woman who is well endowed and knows what she's about, you're able to even groom your son to treat a woman well or to
Enjoying it. That's why I'm very quiet. If I'm not enjoying it, I will interrupt.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
what role has society played in really bringing or really inculcating fear in women? Society. What role has it played?
Okay. Yeah, one of the biggest things society has done or threat society has put or limit society has put on women is myth.
Mm.
And in society that sometimes informally norms are created and rules are created and everybody accepts it and it becomes the order of the day, so everybody should go by it. There is a myth in the society that a woman shouldn't go to this extent. When I was speaking earlier, I mentioned that even though our generation is a bit more learned than some previous generations before us, there's still that mindset there. I did a research about women, influential women in Ghana, and it will amaze you the comments that were made by men.
mm,
And so they would never marry such a woman. They would never do anything with such a woman. And I even got one director saying that there's no way I will let a woman control me. I mean, society has uh, created that myth that a woman cannot lead a man. Society has created that myth that women should always be under men. There's no way a woman should be a superior over a man.
mm,
Society has created it that as a woman, marriage is everything in life. So you don't need to do too much so a man can find you to marry. And even if you are not married, there is this um I'm just trying to choose my words carefully. If you are not married in society, you are tamed as, you are tamed as something in the society. So it has put fear in men. And the rules that existed so many years ago, nobody has abolished them. Everybody is speaking about it, but we can't erase them from the mind of
mm,
the some of the men, not all, some of the men. With you, for instance, you mentioned that I mean you can't marry somebody, blah blah blah, which we all know. But trust me, there are men that are even in this era in society that still believe that no matter what the situation, the woman should cook. So
mm.
society has placed a big damage on the life of a woman when it comes to um, women making it in life. I mean, there are places that if you are going to get married and the woman earns more than the man, and she made it known to the public that she sponsored the wedding more than, or she even sponsored the wedding, it will become a canker eating her up probably for the rest of her life because she contributed more. And that responsibility is supposed to be men. Women can't do it. So majority of the women need has to go through a lot of things in the society, and some had to even just take what society has handed over to them and go by it. So society has played a bigger role by placing a lot of myth on the role of a woman and has limited us to a very, very extreme. Yeah.
How do we change the mindset of the men?
How do we how do we
Change the
change the
mindset.
mindset of the men?
Mhm,
Yes. I I started this ministry with the mindset that the generation after before us are almost wiping away, not as in
mm,
dying, but they are going on retirement and also those of us in our 30s and all that in the next 10 to 20 years will be in that category. So if we groom the women well, the generation that will come after them will be able to groom well
mm,
for them to be trained well. Dr. Koji Agri said, if you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation, which is true. And then one other thing too that we can do is this women empowerment thing is not only about women, women, women. We have to equip ourselves so that we can also influence our men around us that this is how it's supposed to be. For instance, if I'm your sister and you are far advanced in age than me and you carry this mindset, if I'm able to um, research about what I can do to help you overcome this, I will do this and I'll start talking to you to be able to influence you or make you understand. Because I know that if it's personal and we are talking like a sister and a brother or a daughter and a father, it will be more reasonable than a general news broadcasted out there because it's a personal thing between us. So I believe that first of all, the next generation coming up should be groomed. Everybody, almost everybody passed through the hands of a woman
mm,
in growing up because a woman gives birth and women are more with the children in grooming them up.
mm,
So we believe that I believe personally believe that the generation that is coming after the generation ahead of us should be groomed to understand these things so that as they also give birth or as they also bring forth offspring, they will train them with that proper mindset for all of us to be able to blend together. So that's the best way I think we can stand, because our fathers and our uncles that are grown, some of them, it's very difficult to even let convince them to accept what they've learned so many years ago, and it's almost impossible. But I believe the generation that now coming up can be groomed to. I mean,
There is a saying that you cannot give an old dog a new name, right?
no, no,
And
no, no, not at all.
so
Yes, not at all.
you have to
No
go for
way.
you have to go for
Yeah,
the younger generation to really groom them.
generation.
And I
Yeah.
totally agree with them. And I always say this, like for example, we talk about corruption and all that. I always say that
Hmm.
look, we need to target the children, the young people, for
Yeah.
them to understand integrity, for them to understand that look, corruption is not good. When we are able to target them and change their mindset, then over a period of
Hmm.
time we can change the narrative. But if we are targeting those who
Exactly.
are already corrupt, then how do we change the narrative? So I think it's very
Hmm.
important, yes, that
Yeah.
we really target the younger generation and change their mindset. And
Yeah.
over time, we will fade
Their
out the
mindset.
system of those who are older. Now let's go to emotions. I believe that women
Hmm.
are more emotional than men. And do you think
Yeah.
emotions have also contributed to women being very like putting fear in them?
Mr. Oscar, you've gone off, so I can't hear you.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that I want to really talk about emotions, and I believe that women
Okay.
are a bit more emotional than men. Do you think emotions have also
Yeah.
contributed to women being by creating fear for women?
Yeah. It's also contributed to that. We are emotional, so you've gone off again, so I can't hear you.
Wow. Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
emotions and fear. Well, has it contributed to women
Yeah.
to be fear to bring fear to women?
Oh wow.
Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Hmm. I can hear you now.
Yeah, what I'm
Yeah.
saying
I
is
can
that
hear you now.
has fear contributed to has emotions contributed to fear in women?
Yes. Yes. Emotions has um, contributed a great deal to fear in women. That is why I mentioned earlier that women empowerment is not about teaching women to compete with men over positions, but it's about teaching women or grooming women to realize their potentials and helping them to maximize them.
Mm.
So that's it. Women are emotional. We are easily intimidated and easily influenced and are easily tamed because we are moved by what we hear. So as soon as a woman hears something that brings her down, the it easily takes over a woman. Something that a man will go through and will stand there, a woman will go through and collapse.
Mm.
That's why some when it comes to certain things, men are seen to be stronger, so they would have to face that because emotionally, women are very emotional, and it creates a very great toll on them when it comes to handling issues. So it's our way of being created automatically puts us in a corner that causes us to easily get intimidated, because when you are emotional, the least thing worries you unless you build a capacity or you consciously build a capacity to stand strong and over and get hold of your emotions and be in charge. If not, any wind that blows will just blow you away. That is why my focus has been on empowering women, letting them realize the kind of power they have so that they won't always let their emotions take a toll on them.
Now,
There's a young lady that was with part of our ministry, and I mean there were challenges going back to university and all. She wanted to be a professional teacher, so she was in a private school teaching, and then she was a people teacher. She wanted to go to a tertiary, and then she was so afraid of how it was going to be and how she wasn't too sure she would pass and all. Then I had to take her through counseling and all that. And when she realized that, I mean, it depends on her to let go of all those negative emotions and rather stand to the challenges. She was able to do it. She was able to do her distance learning. She took her weekend schooling. She still kept teaching. And then now she's a graduate and a professional teacher. And every time she's like, she didn't believe she would be able to do this. This is what we are talking about when it comes to women empowerment, helping women to stand on their feet and to stand boldly to take a step. That's what it's about
Mm.
when it comes to women empowerment. So, very true, emotions play a great role in women being fearful. Yeah,
Wow. And I think you are making very good points in there. It's about being responsible and really having that mindset that it can be done.
exactly.
And I think whenever you take a step,
It can be.
takes away fear. I always say that your antidote to fear is to take that bold
Yeah,
step. Yes. Now let me go to
that
poverty
bold step.
and let me go to poverty and fear. Is there any relationship?
Hello,
Is there any relationship between poverty and
hello.
fear?
Oh, yes, there is. There is. Let me use the same lady I spoke about. I love to be very practical because sometimes when you're more theological, it becomes like what you're saying is not really in line with our daily lives. But that's why I love to be practical. The very lady I was talking about, I'm not looking down on anybody, but I'm just using that as an example. She comes from a place where it's even difficult to even get one course meal a day.
Mm,
So here was someone who is the only person who is educated out of the family. And
mm,
after second cycling institution, she wants to get into tertiary. There's no help, there's no hope.
mm,
She looks back to the family. There's absolutely no hope or nobody that can help because they live in a severe poverty situation. She could be the only person to break away from that. But fear was causing her to want to remain where she was.
mm,
So she was empowered. Then she realized that no, I can come out of this. It has nothing to do with it. So fear and poverty, I always say that it's in they are twins.
mm,
Because I believe when you meet these big businessmen, they always take a risk. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, I lose. I move on. There's no businessman who is not caught in the head thinking about whether it will work or not. But hey, let me take the step. If I hit a jackpot, that's it. If I lose, I learn from it and I move on. So fear and poverty are twins. In fact, they don't even have different names. They have the same name. They work hand in hand with each other. Because when you live in constant fear, there is no way you can achieve anything. There's no way you can take any step. That even when opportunities are given to you, you would refuse it because you are afraid,
mm.
and you will never be able to maximize your potential. You will never able be able to take advantage of any opportunity. You will forever remain where you are and even become more poorer than before,
Mm.
than how you were even born into the kind of family or wherever you find yourself. So as I said, fear and poverty, they are twins.
I would
Yes.
say they have married themselves, isn't it?
Exactly. They become one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think when the conversation is very good, time is really running. Now, how
Yeah.
how does one overcome fear?
Okay. Yeah. I jotted down some. Oh, the network is unstable. You're off again. But I think I heard the starting of the question. How to
How does
overcome
one
fear. Can
overcome
you hear
fear?
me?
How does one overcome fear?
Yeah. Yes. We can't talk about all these things and not share our mind on how to overcome it. I took my time to, I've dealt with this topic before. I took my time to do a couple of research. Then I jotted down a couple of things that I would like to share with us. You know, whatever scares you is in charge of you. When I'm counseling people, I always tell them that whoever that or people who are quick tempered or have temperamental issues, I tell them that anybody that has control over your emotions has absolute power over you. If you provoke me and I don't retaliate, I mean, it ends there. If you provoke me and I choke you with a knife or I stab you with a knife and it results in the police station, you are in charge of me because you dictated what should happen to me and I also responded. So I always tell people that this is it. So fear is here that the moment you allow it to take over you, it causes you to lose everything. So I jotted down these points to help us overcome this fear. The first thing to do to overcome fear is to take some time out. When you are battling fear, it is so difficult to stay within the environment, everything that has to do with whatever that scares you to take a decision. Because everything is causing you to fear is staring at you. There's absolutely no way. It will be so difficult for you to take another step. So what you need to do is to take some time out and then make sure that the first thing to do is to physically calm down. Let's say I'm going to write an exam. I am so afraid because I feel or I think I didn't learn well or I didn't have time to read enough. The little I've read might help to understand, but the moment I allow fear to come in, it will cause me to even forget what I've learned so far. So now I put whatever that is scaring me on hold. If the exam hall or the school, my hostel room or wherever I find myself is a threat to me getting my focus back, I will leave the scene, get to an environment where it can help me to rejuvenate or reset my mind back to where I was before or where I don't feel scared or I don't panic anymore. Then it will help me to think through what I've learned already to at least answer that those questions with what I've learned already. In that way, I'll be able to overcome fear. That's the first point. The second point is to um, breathe through panic. There are situations that you won't get the time to step out to go and deal with the situation. So if I'm here, or even when you said I'm coming on air, I'm here and now if I feel anxious or I'm scared, fear has taken over me and I'm even fidgeting and all that. The first thing or the best thing I can do to myself is to breathe in and breathe out. Settle, not to rush or panic or think of what's going to happen. First of all, you take care of yourself and you settle in the situation. As I give an example, if it's now that I came online and I'm scared, I need to settle. Then I can be able to get hold of myself to face whatever challenge or whatever that is intimidating me to overcome it. If it's a situation where it is a marriage or something that is a long time thing or it has taken a very great toll on you, you still need to take a breath, take a breather, and make sure that you rethink and construct your thoughts very well so you can take a bold step out of whatever situation that has put fear in you, especially if you have to make a decision. You need to make sure that you settle in your breath. It will give you the idea or a proper fresh start for you to rethink and strategize well. The third thing is also to face your fears. I've come to sit before this laptop. I have an online program. No matter how scared I am, I don't have to run away from the show and give an excuse. All I need to do is prepare myself and say that I'm going to do this. Whatever happens, happens. If it doesn't work or whatever happens, I need to just learn from my mistakes and move on. So you face your fears. If it's somebody that you need to talk to, you just have to find time, speak to those people, address that issue, and that's it. Let's have a situation where you are owing someone, the person is chasing you, and you are avoiding the person. You are so scared of the person because you owe the person and you're avoiding the person. I mean, definitely a time will come you have to face the person face to face. Face your fears, face your debtor. My dear, this is the situation. I know you're upset, I'm owing you, but this is where I find myself. So please pardon me, this and that. That's your fear. You face it whether the person gets upset, they yell at you, no matter what they say, you face the fear and you've overcome it. But if you avoid them or you make them feel that you are being smarter than them or you are just ignoring them. It will rather trigger them to take decisions that might get you into trouble. So face your fears, whatever that is intimidating you, face it. If it's something you need to do, if it's a startup business you need to do, if it's a business you want to start up, whatever thing you need to do, especially something you need to do that nobody has done before, a unique thing you need to bring it out. The fear of what if will take over you, but you need to, stand to your purpose and make sure that you fulfill destiny by taking that step, overcoming the fear and taking that step. When you fail, you will learn from it. The one invented Bob, we all know, he said he didn't fail at what he was doing, but he learned so many ways in, I mean, inventing a bulb. He didn't say he failed. He said he learned so many ways in inventing a bulb. So whatever it is, make sure that you face your fears. And then the next thing is, imagine the worst. When you imagine the worst, after the worst happened, what again? What next? If you are starting up a business and fear has taken over you, okay, then you imagine, if I have 10,000 starting a business, if I fail, what next? At least this is what I would have to do. I would have to re-strategize, and that would even cause you to put good measures in place.
Mm.
If you imagine the worst, okay, I can lose this 10,000 I'm starting this business with, but I need also to strategize well so that I don't put all the money here to waste the money in case it doesn't work. Let me strategize well so that if it doesn't work here, it works here. It will rather cause you to put proper measures in place. And it won't take a big emotional toll on you when you fail because you imagine the worst, it happened. You have a strategy. So it means you plan ahead. It helps you plan ahead of time and then you're able to take steps. I don't know if you want to come in before I finish the rest or I can go on.
No, finish, yeah.
Okay. So the next step is you have to look at the evidence. You want to start up something. Look at the evidence. Even if nobody has started whatever you want to start before, look at the evidence is you. The fact that you even got the mindset to start whatever you want to start is an evidence that it can succeed. So put away fear and take a step.
Mm.
Look at evidence. It also goes with looking at people who took steps, or looking at mentors or people you look at to who took steps and failed a couple of times before they succeeded in what they've achieved. And it would encourage you, it will serve as an evidence that, if you fail for the first time, that's not the end of the road, or whatever that happens, that's not the end of the road. So most times the evidence helps you to overcome fear.
Mm.
This thing you're doing, if I also want to start the same thing, I will learn from you. No matter how scared I feel, your success will cause me, your success and failures will cause me to know that Mr. Oscar failed here, or he had challenges here. He was able to overcome, and now, so after some years, he's here. So definitely, if I also look at the evidence of how people were had challenges with whatever they were doing, but they've been able to come this far, I can also come this far. Then the next point is, don't try to be perfect. One of the things to overcome fear is, don't try to be perfect. Sometimes we feel we need to get it at all costs. You need to have this shape. You need to be this. Don't try to be perfect, especially when it comes to the emotional side. If you are scared, speak to someone about it. Don't be too bossy. Don't let your ego cause you to think that you are too perfect. It will break you down. If you're scared, you're afraid, or whatever that's intimidating you, if it's to understand that you need to talk to a third party, please do it. Don't act all perfect for it to break you down.
Mm.
And then the next thing is, visualize a happy place. I'm
Mm.
still using the startup thing. If you are starting a business, visualize your 10 years from the day you are starting. That is not to tell you to be rushing with whatever you are doing, but visualize where you're going to be in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years,
Mm.
and then it will cause you to settle and not be scared. It will also teach you to know that it's just one step at a time. So gradually, I will grow to get there. So you have to make sure it's very, very important to visualize a happy place that I'm starting a business with this. In the next 5 years, I will have 5 branches. In the next 10 years, I'll have 20 branches. So at the end of the day, these things are all better. They are bigger and wider than my fears. So let me overcome my fears, and it will automatically help you to overcome fear. And then, as I said earlier, you have to talk about it. Talking about your fear is very important, but know who to talk to, not just anybody. There are people, by the time you go and talk to them, if I'm permitted to use this grammar, you will feel quadruple afraid. Your fear will, you and you will be, it will be more than how you were feeling, and you'll be more intimidated than how you were feeling. So make sure you speak to the right people that can boost your morale, encourage you in reality for you to be able to stand to overcome your fear. Then um, the ninth one is go back to the basics. Wherever you've gotten to that you feel scared, after taking those steps or wherever you feel, go back to the basics. When you started, how you were feeling, when you didn't allow fear to take over you, you started it and you've gotten here. So how come now you've allowed fear to take over? So it will help you if you are now starting. Look at the basics and deal with the basics. Don't look at the bigger picture for it to intimidate you to an extent that you will totally give up on your dream. But look at the basic, tackle the basics and deal with it. And you see, as you handle the basics and you're able to overcome it, you will move from one level to the other. Before you realize you've climbed 1,000 steps and you're wondering even how you got there. But if you always look at the bigger picture alone, starting will be a challenge and you will be scared. So always look um, go back to the basics. And one of the things that would always encourage us that done is make sure that you reward yourself.
Mm.
Whatever you are doing after this show, Mr. Oscar, is when you've done, oh, Oscar, I've done well, but I know that I can do better. I mean, encourage yourself if you are listening to me. Make sure you reward yourself. Don't always be hard on yourself. If you do that, before you realize, you become so anxious and you yourself, the thoughts will start coming and you start intimidating yourself and you totally lose focus and lose yourself in it. So make sure you reward yourself. There are times if you even have to take yourself on a date, take yourself out there, buy yourself something to eat or whatever you feel is a reward for yourself, and say that, oh, I did this, I achieved this, so this is a reward for myself. So these are the 10 points I listed down that we can do to overcome fear. So,
I will
and
call it. I will call it the Ten Commandments of Fear.
yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. You know, when the conversation is very good, time really move fast, and it's just 2 minutes to the top of the hour. So
yeah,
I'll just give a
yeah,
few mention of our sponsors. This program is sponsored by
yeah,
2024 Consultancy, your business training and consulting firm. We always work. We also work with colleges and universities and tertiary institutions. Also, we this program is sponsored by ALS Global Shipping and Logistics. That is your trusted import and export company based in Accra. ALS says if you are stranded at the port, call them and they will sort you out. Also, ZPay Ghana Limited, your remittance and mobile money company based in Ghana. They just launched their ZPay mobile money USSD code, which is star 270 hash. Just dial it on your phone to register for ZPay mobile money. Then Wheels for Sure, your car leasing for every credit. Wheels for Sure says it doesn't matter your credit, you can drive out of the garage with a car of your choice. When you call them, code T2Y 2020 and they will sort you out. If you want to contact any of our sponsors, the numbers are scrolling on the screen. Take them and contact them. When you call them and you tell them that you got the number from T2Y TV UK, you are more likely to have a very good deal. Now, Abba Fame, it's been wonderful having you, and thanks very much for coming on the
yeah.
show.
Same here.
Wow.
Thank you
I
too.
think I will read some few comments here before we go. I've got Dinah Power say,
Yeah,
yes, I
sure.
agree with you, my sister. She also said that alien
Mm,
social construct are breaking down our families. Then Dovi Senior says,
yeah,
train them with the proper mindset. She also says that the unborn generation must be prepared. Then Dovi also come back, yes, that's it.
yeah,
And Dinah Power says, lovely show. Yes. What is
yeah.
your last word
Thank
to
you,
everyone
everyone.
that is watching you, especially women?
Well, my last words to every woman is that you can do it. It doesn't matter the challenges you are facing. The first thing you need to know is to believe in yourself, stand for what you believe in, and go all out.
Mm.
Of course, it will be challenging, you will be intimidated, you'll be rejected, you'll be talked about. I mean, you will be a talk of town, even at some point, that people who would even discourage you to put a stop to it. But hey, make sure you believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you'll be able to achieve everything and anything and overcome your fears. Because nobody will believe in you if you yourself you don't believe in yourself. So if you're a woman out there, don't let anything limit you. Believe in yourself, step out there, and trust me, the God who has called us and empowered us with diverse kinds of giftings and talents will see you through. So that's my last word to every woman.
Wow. And
Yeah,
if you are watching us, we will encourage you to share this. Just like
yeah,
our page, T2I TV UK, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's been wonderful having you, Abba Fame. We really appreciate your time, and God richly bless you.
yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Oscar. Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful. I've enjoyed the conversation, and this is what I love to do. So God bless you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time too, and for everyone that really wasted your precious time to be with us. God richly bless you. On
Yeah.
Thursday, I have got the CEO of DNT Television all the way from Ghana. And this man has lived in the States the best of his life and is coming to talk to us about the myths and realities when you want to relocate from abroad to Africa. It's going to be a wonderful discussion. You can't afford to miss this. So I will urge you that 7 p.m. GMT on Thursday, we are here. Don't change the dial on us. It is going to be a powerful discussion. And trust me, I'm yearning for this discussion. I can't wait because a lot of people want to relocate to Africa, but they don't know how. There's been a lot of myths. There've been a lot of realities that they have experienced, but where do we strike the balance? It's been wonderful having all of you, our good audience. Share this, like
Yeah.
our page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And Abba Fame, thanks for your time.
Sure.
God richly bless you and see all of you.
Thank you. Sure. Bye.
Bye bye.
I believe that you are able to do exceedingly abundantly far above all I could ask or think. Believe, yes, I believe. You say, I believe that you are able to do exceedingly abundantly far above all I could ask or think.
I am so excited because the Step Out TV shows are back live on T2I TV. And for those who don't know, Step Out is a series of interviews and motivational segments designed to bring the best out of you and your business. Therefore, we have the following TV programs. Our first TV program, which is our flagship program, dubbed Step Out with Oscar Bimpong, is designed to interview consultants, experts, talented people, and those doing exceptionally well in their communities. The second one is Step Out SME Focus. This is where we interview business owners and showcase their products and services. The third one is Step Out Youth Impact Zone. This is where we interview young people succeeding against all odds to serve as an inspiration to other young people. And the last one is Step Out Authors Corner. And this is where we interview authors to share what their book is about to the world. Join us every week at 7 p.m. GMT. like T2I TV on Facebook and subscribe to the YouTube channel. To advertise or for further information, do WhatsApp +44 759 1152 983 or +233 55 580 3924 or email info@traintoinspire.com. T2I TV. We engage, educate, enlighten, and empower.